Hello everyone, hope you're having an excellent day today. I'm doing pretty good. I've been pretty busy lately working on Tron, which means there's a ton of progress to show off. So let's dive in. In the last update video, I was basically whining about how this building's all broken up, I'm gonna have to take it apart and rebuild it. Now I've actually done that. Every single piece was disassembled and separated from the original building, and I've assembled it pretty much the same scale. However, it's completely different on the inside and out. This time we've used a fraction of the pieces that the original version had, and it's so much stronger. I can pick it up and move it around very easily. And I've said that before, but this time I really mean it. It also separates into one more section, so it's 3 chunks instead of 2. Hopefully that makes it easier to move as well. It should look pretty similar, and that's kind of the point. I didn't have any problems with the appearance of the first version, but it just was falling apart. And this version, which is really based around those Lego base plates on the inside, is just going to be a lot better long term, especially when going to conventions, which is very much the goal of this build. All that said, I can see why I was experiencing some burnout and some frustration with this creation. It is a serious grind and a very big challenge to my patience and willpower to get this done. There are so many pieces, so many lights, so many little intricate details. It's huge. Redoing something you've already done before is also just kind of inherently frustrating to me. It's been a challenge to get as far as we have with this building. So I'm going to continue to work on the panels that aren't finished and really get this completed looking better than before. But thankfully, there are other things in the Tron build I can work on besides just large architectural buildings. This in front of me here is the progress so far on the Tron Tank, which I'm really excited about. So this Tron Tank, which would belong to the bad guys, is kind of based off of a couple different reference images I was able to find online. It's worth mentioning there are a couple different versions of Tron tanks. There were Tron tanks in the first movie that were actually heavily featured in like a chase battle scene. There were a couple in the second movie, Tron Legacy. Those were more in the background, they weren't as heavily featured. This is definitely obviously based on the Tron Legacy movie, so we're kind of leaning towards that, but there's a couple different versions based on video games and concept arts, so kind of taking some elements from one mostly, but also, not forgetting other things that have happened in the Tron universe. And if I thought the buildings were a challenge to build, this was a nightmare because, first of all, it's a crazy, weird collection of shapes. It's got rounded sections, pointed sections, tapering, angles and wedges and curves, shapes that are very inherently difficult to do with square bricks. On top of all that, besides the color black, which is relatively easy to build in, we have to use transparent neon orange, which is a very limited part selection for that color. So a lot of windscreens, but not a lot of plates or bricks or tiles. Those things do exist in very small numbers, but even like a 1x2 tile will set you back, dollars versus cents. So it's like finding these pieces is hard, even if they even exist. I was able to scrounge up just enough to get this vehicle pretty much where I want it. I do believe that the scale is a little larger than I was expecting. These big, huge tank treads are just a lot of volume, very long, very wide. And this tank turret, which I had built earlier on, is a little bit small in scale now, so I'm gonna have to try to expand that, which is kind of difficult because there's wedges and wedge slopes in there that are gonna be hard to expand upon, but I think it really needs to be enlarged, so I'm gonna be doing that soon. But the tank itself is pretty much done. There's still a few things to do on the top area where the turret connects, but those tank treads are looking about as good as I think I can get them. There's definitely some illegal building techniques going on, a little bit of even some flexing in some of the areas. From even a few feet away, it looks really nice, I think. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. So over the next few days, I'm gonna be finishing that tower, finishing the Tron tank, and then I'll be working on a few more buildings. I think about 2 more, smaller buildings, and then hopefully be able to build a recognizer ship too. That's one of the most iconic Tron vehicles. Really want to get that done. I have some ideas for some cool physical movement features because they're in the second movie. It definitely did a lot of things. That was basically an elevator. So looking forward to all that too. Hopefully we can get all this planned stuff done before February and have this Tron build perfectly ready to go, all finished for my favorite convention in the beginning of February. It'll be great. Anyway, until then, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.